So I'm headed to Oasis Olives in Kiala East. They are one of the main wholesale producers of premium extra virgin olive oil in Victoria, Australia, and they've also gained international recognition and plenty of awards. It was a cruisy 2 hour drive from Melbourne until my car got bogged at the farm.
Come on, guys.
It's definitely not one of the smarter things I've done, but thanks to these guys for helping a damsel in distress. But in my defense, this view was pretty distracting. I'm talking 250 hectares of olive grove paradise. They've got 6 main olive varieties growing here, including Barnea, Coratina, Frantoio, Coronaki, Lucchino, Picual. And just to clarify any confusion, this is definitely not the Mediterranean. We're in the land down under, Australia, because look, they've got bloody kangaroos on the farm. For now, let's go have a chat to Owen.
How do you feel about jumping the fence?
He's going to help explain everything.
Like in some ways, this soil is almost too good for them. They like grow too fast and we keep on having to like cut them back. We do machine harvesting here. So you can either harvest with a shaker. Essentially like 2 machines come in, one shakes the tree, the other one kind of catches the fruit and then it processes. Or you can do an overhead harvester, kind of like a horseshoe type shape that goes over the top of the tree. When the olives come in from the farm, they go straight into a hopper, which allows us to kind of collect them, and then we take the olives up on a conveyor belt, clean them, which involves blowing air against them to get rid of a lot of sticks and leaves, but also running them through a continuous bath. So it's just a water bath that's kind of ongoing, which goes into another series of hoppers, runs down into the crusher. And so the crusher is where the olives, as you'd expect, are crushed, which allows you to then kind of start to separate the oil from the olives themselves. This runs into a malaxer, and so a malaxer is kind of an ongoing churning of the olive paste. If it's a black olive, it comes out as a purplish paste. If it's a green olive, it comes out as a green paste. Sometimes there might be a little bit of water added in there, sometimes there might be some enzymes, just depending on how dry the paste is. That will run for anywhere, at a really, really short malax for a super premium olive oil. It could be trying to be as low as 15-30 minutes, up to an hour, sometimes even a little bit longer than that, depending on the type of olive oil. So we are running kind of ongoing tests to understand how well the extraction's coming, how cloudy the olive oil is, ongoing testing of the quality of the oil that's come out, as well as testing the moisture and oil content of the pomace that's kind of coming out at the end. We are cold pressing absolutely everything. We're aiming for low temperatures, anywhere from 24 to 28. Once it's been in the malaxer, it comes out into a separator where it'll go through a centrifuge at high speeds that separates the oil out from the pomace and any water. The oil then is taken out, again run through another sieve. So that's just catching any other little pips that might have got through the valves. And then it will run into another separator, essentially another centrifuge, where we're mixing it with water just to do a final clean and really separate so you've got good clean olive oil coming out. From there, we'll pump it through into our tank where they're kept at controlled temperatures until they're ready to go. Large tanks here that are temperature controlled, that we keep as much oxygen off as possible, and that way we can kind of throughout the year distribute those tanks out. Typically the olive oil will need to sit for a little bit period of time just to let the sediment settle, and so you're not sending out sediment. So that period, depending on the variety, again, can be anywhere from kind of 2 to 4 weeks. So we will do a second extraction on all of our olive, just so that any remaining olive oil that's not left over, if it's not fit to be extra virgin olive oil, we might put it in for something like soap. And they don't need to be extra virgin in terms of high polyphenol count. They still have, the same qualities that you're looking for in soap. When you're thinking about the quality of the olive oil, the big things that make a difference are obviously the quality of the olives. Like in some ways, this soil is almost too good for them. They like grow too fast and we keep on having to cut them back. The next big factor that we think about is speed to processing. And so the shorter that time from when the olive comes off the tree and starts to break down to when you get it into the system, you're going to have a higher quality product, and you're going to be able to really extract those really healthy, fresh flavors. And so by having the mill on site, we can get it in within an hour or 2. So there's 2 uses for the pomace. One is we'll go and spread it across the farm and kind of use it as a compost fertilizer, so returning carbon and a bunch of good stuff back into the soil. Secondly, we also dry it out and use it as a heat source.
We got to taste all the olive oils, including agrumato olive oil.
There is agrumato, which means you're actually crushing the fruit in with the olives. And so through that process, the olive oil will absorb the flavors of the fruit. And I think that's a really nice natural way to do it and really fresh.
And it produces a very pronounced zesty olive oil. And honestly, it's mind-blowing to compare the different flavor profiles and intensities. You're almost instantly inspired by it and start thinking of how to use it in a dish or what to pair it with. Actually, let me know if that's something you'd like to see in a separate video, how to use different varieties in cooking. So let me know down below in the comments.
Oh, we have a lot of wildlife for the farm. So we have a lot of kangaroos, lots of different bird life, which is, you know, theoretically bad. However, they'll eat a lot of the fruit that's left on the trees at the end of the harvest, which, like I was saying before, is good because then you'll get a better crop and that stuff's not like left to mummify on the tree. The other things we do is we run sheep across the farm. Sheep come through and they'll, you know, take up a lot of the weeds. They'll eat the suckers that grow at the bottom of the tree. They also have natural fertilizer. They eat the leaves that we have kind of blow off as well.
That's all from today's adventure. I hope you learned something new. It was definitely lots of fun for me to connect with these people. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.